So I'm doing a live. We're going to be talking about certain things that I'm promoting. And one of the videos that I just uploaded is on 1212. You may want to look at that. It's going to benefit you, trust me. One of the videos that I just uploaded is on 1212. You may want to look at that. It's going to benefit you, trust me. Especially if you're... Okay, so I'm waiting for people to get on. So there are two things that I want you to pay attention to. I've uploaded twice, 1212, because today's a portal of power. And this is where you need to do some clearing and cleaning of your energies, whether it's a twin flame journey, or whether you're in separation, or whether you're in union, or whether even in death with anyone significant with you. The 1212 is an opportunity for you. It's the last portal of the year. It's an important time for you to clean house, energetically speaking, as well as maybe, I don't know, physically speaking. Maybe there's some things that you've been putting off. But most importantly, we're about to hit the 15th, which is the full moon. And I don't know about you. I know it's going to be cold for some of you, and it's the same for me. I plan on going up on the mountain and actually doing a connection with the moon, and really intending 2025 to be a good year of transitioning, of clearing and manifesting what I deserve, what we deserve as a collective. It's really important that you get serious about this. Okay, you matter. Trust me when I say this. We are also offering, me and Andromeda Flame are offering an altar class. It's altar using, Vashti Shastra techniques. Microsoft, I don't like him either, but Microsoft used that technique with architects to build their home, their building. And you know how successful they've been. I know that Freddie Silva talks about Divine Blueprint. It's a book that he wrote about how to create portals and power portals in one's home, garden, what have you. And this is something that the power portals in one's home, garden, what have you. And this is something that the ancients understood. And altars are very, very, very important to your home, to your space. And so we're going to be teaching a class on altars for love and for abundance, the two concerns most people have. We'll go into details. We'll have schematics, meaning PDF files. And we might end up doing a pre-recorded session. We're looking to pre-record. And we might do a live Zoom to finalize, to tie any loose ends or questions, because you may have questions. We're going to see how it works, but it's $45. It's going to be a total of 2 hours pre-recorded. You can have access to it whenever you want. And again, you'll have the PDF files, and you'll be able to create a successful altar. The altars that I see, like yesterday I had a client who is a businesswoman, a CEO, and I've seen this with other clients, by the way, is that the altar, in their mind it's an altar, but it's not an altar. There's no power, there's no charging of the altar, there's no deities or examples of deities. You can be a Catholic. As a matter of fact, I have 2 clients so far that flagged the concern that they are Catholic, and you can use the symbols for love of a Catholic, examples, which we'll go into. My partner Andromeda Flame was raised devout Catholic in Ireland. I misspeak again. In Ireland, and so she knows very much about what are the things that you can use. If you are Catholic, if you're a devout Catholic, that's an awakened Catholic. You know what I'm saying by that? If you're a Protestant, we can talk about that. But devout Catholic, that's an awakened Catholic. You know what I'm saying by that? If you're a Protestant, we can talk about that. But we are not looking at any religious aspect. We're looking at power. However, we can actually tailor it to what you need so that you don't feel like you're going off the beaten track, off your whichever religion you're devoted to. And that's not going to be the principal idea isn't what religion do you follow, because even in Catholicism, what do they have? They have an altar. Altars are places of power, but most people have no fucking clue how to do it. and most people don't know how to do it. Altars are places of power, but most people have no fucking clue how to do it, and most people don't know how to do it. So we're going to give you a schematic, which I'm actually going to be drawing up, so that you know exactly where to place what and what everything symbolizes and why it's important to have it on your altar. And having a bunch of little things and gadgets and crystals thrown up on a table does not make for an altar. I'm just going to be very blunt. Okay? It does not make for an altar. It doesn't. There are certain steps and things that you need. You may have to invest on a couple things that aren't expensive. In fact, many of you could actually go to a thrift shop and go find many of the items that you'll need, okay, for like a quarter, 50 cents, things of that nature, which is fun to do anyway. Any questions or comments on that? Any questions or comments? So I'm very excited about this class, and Draman and I were talking about that. Any questions or comments? So I'm very excited about this class, and Draman and I were talking about it this morning. And we were looking 12-12 porters. We're all individually doing our own thing at 12-12. We're not offering anything. If you want anything, I've posted the 12-12. It's a suggestion. You don't have to do it. But maybe it will elicit some of your own ideas for your own ceremony that you really need to take seriously. 12-12 is no joke. We are needing to say goodbye to 2024. It has kicked our ass. Okay? And 2025 is the number 9. I did a whole live on numerology, which I might actually edit and just like put up as numerology on the, from 2024, I went all the way to 2026 to explain and to predict based on the energy frequency of the numbers, what it would mean for us individually and the collective in terms of the ascension and all of the things that you're seeing. There's a lot of things that barreled in starting with last year. 2023. And so 2025 is our opportunity to single-handedly, okay, co-create something brand new and fantastic using the vibration and the wisdom of the number 9, which is God's perfect master number. It is not 11 and it is not 22. I don't know. I don't know why people say it is. I do know, but I'm not going to go there because I don't want to insult or do anything like that. I'm not here to insult people's belief system. But trust me when I say 11 and 22 is not it. It's 9. And people that are in numerology right now who understand what I'm talking about, you guys know what I'm talking about, and you won't argue. It is not 22. And it's funny, too, because I've always known 11 and 22 were not master numbers. The master, I'm going to tell you what the master numbers are. They're 9. No, and 9 in all of its incarnated state. 142. I've been remiss in doing a video on its own on 142, 144. 144, 414, 441 is a master number. Well, it's 9, obviously. 18, 27, 36. I don't need to go on, 81, you know what I mean? But what I'm going to say to you is that I have not done the video on 144 because it's a standalone number. I could not mix it with the 27, 36, 18. I couldn't do that. Why? Because it has its particular message that is not connected to those other numbers, clearly. And when I do the video, you'll see why. But the master numbers that are numbers that predict ease, if it's the day you're born, but I'll give you an example. If you're born on the 8th, but your life path number is 9, then the only karma that you're paying is to yourself. You must have betrayed yourself. You did not use your voice. You did not use all the powers. The only karma that you're paying is to yourself. You must have betrayed yourself. You did not use your voice. You did not use all the powers. And the only karma that you're paying is to yourself. You must have betrayed yourself. You did not use your voice. You did not use all the powers. And the only karma that you're paying is to yourself. You must have betrayed yourself. You did not use your voice. You did not use all the powers and gifts that you were in a past life incarnation. So the day you're born on an 8, but you have a 9, when you add, it's funny too because it repeats itself. And this again is not numerology, 3D, mindset, logic. When you add 8 plus 9, right? That's 17, right? And 17 is the star of the Magi, right, in Kabbalah numerology, but it also turns into 8. And here we go again with the 8 looping. Now, it's a very pretty number, okay? Everyone's excited about 8 because it's the infinite twirling snake, beautiful movement, unlike all the other numbers. But it carries a very hard karmic number. It's basically, I'm paying karma. Now, there's 2 types of karmas you're going to pay. One is you betrayed yourself, which happens to beautiful high-level souls. But also, 8 is also you kind of fucked up. You kind of, harmed other people. So 8 comes in as something, a debt to be paid. You wrote a check you couldn't cash. You shouldn't have written. And now it's time to pay the piper. So it's that kind of energy. But when you have, and this is what's interesting about 18, is 1 is the number of the sun. It's connected with, clarity, healing. It's actually one of the best numbers, obviously, 101100, we know what that means, coding. But what I'll say to you is that when you add the 1 to the 8, it softens it. But 18 typically is spiritual material conflict. So what that means is that you'll ask yourself a question. You'll think logically that you should take that job as a mortgage banker because you're going to make like a $250,000 a year. But you also know that you were born to do something else. You also know that you are spiritually aligned to be, say, a Reiki master or a sound bath healer, which it clearly isn't going to make you $250,000. There's no way, right? When you compare the salaries, right? As to the path of the heart as opposed to the path of the money. And what's interesting is that might be a conflict that really you have to wrestle with. And so 18 is constantly throwing itself in front of you going, what are you going to choose? Your heart, your soul, this idea that only this life matters and me making money in this incarnation. And, but by the way, I'm not putting down money, just on the side note at all. Don't mistake what I'm saying. I'm saying that when people choose their heart path, the irony of ironies, the money will come. It may come in 10 years. It may come later. It may come right off the bat. But the aspect of 18 is asking a person to choose their soul contract with themselves and the universe to do what is right, not what is logical. Spiritual material conflict, hence that term. When you are born with, say, 23, right? You're born on the 23rd, the lion of the Magi, right? Which means line. 23 is communication. I'm using numbers that are very simple to remember. But, you're born on the 23rd day, but your life path is 11, which ironically means the muzzle line. Did you get that? So the 1 is the line of the Magi. You can walk in, you're charismatic, communicator, amazing communication aspect, but the muzzle line. And that can mean different things for different people. You can still be brash and charismatic and magnetic and still not follow your bliss, which goes back to 18, spiritual material conflict. But what's interesting about that is you can overcome that in one incarnation. 29 is a very hard number. It's a very fraught karmic number. Again, 2 plus 9 is 11. However, when you take away the 9, this is what makes the number 9 so incredible, is it's 11, right? But 1 plus 1 is 2. Did you notice that? 2 plus 9 is 11. You just take out the 9 and boom, there's 2. And 2 connects to the moon, and it connects to, in tarot, the high priestess. The high priestess is always connecting to the universe, unquestioning the downloads, unless she knows that she's still struggling with corrupted downloads. And this is discernment on your part. This is your responsibility to not kiss your own ass and to basically ask yourself, was this true or am I kissing my butt? Am I really feeling this? Was this a download that was pure? Now, in meditation, that can be difficult to ascertain because you're going through a meditation and then you're getting downloads. But I can tell you that pure downloads that are uncorrupted, and this is a surefire way to confirm that, is you're doing whatever. You're minding your own business and suddenly you're getting a complete download, and it came out of nowhere, uninvited, not from a place of repose, meaning meditation, but it came out of nowhere. And that is a sign that this was uncorrupted. It was something that came to help you, and it makes you feel very light, very beautiful, very empowered. joyous and grateful. Whereas some corrupted downloads, you'll question it on the giddy up. You'll start like struggling, trying to figure out, is this real or is it not? And right there, that's a red flag. And you should look at it. Are you giving yourself a download that tells you what you want to hear, or are you doing what you're supposed to do? Anyway, any other questions in relations to what I'm saying? So anyway, we're doing the altar class, and we're looking at a time point. But even if you're unable to attend the class, we are going to pre-record it anyway, because we want to go right into the information that you need to capture. And that's probably going to be a 1 hour pre-recorded class. We're still kind of looking at what we're going to do with whether or not we're going to do a live Zoom to answer question, but it won't be a class. It'll be more like a question answer type of thing. And if you can't attend that, then you'll have access to both those classes, right? One that is an absolutely focused launching of the wisdoms of these ancient Vedic traditions on how to place. And again, I'm repeating myself, but if you are any religious order, then you don't have to worry about, is this going to conflict with that? Because this is mathematics schematics on the energetic frequency of what it takes, thank you, my love, of what it takes to place the right items on the right area. I'm going to tell you how important altars are. When I started doing altars what I'm going to call conscious altars in 2014, right? When I was in union with my twin and we were living together, we always had altars, and I would have a specific suitcase. It was a little roller suitcase. You know, the ones that you carry on the airplane. And in that suitcase, I had everything. I came into the habit of having my deities, my sage, my abalone shell, my incense, my bell, my this, my that, all of that was packed in that suitcase. And we were nomadic. And the first thing I would pull out, didn't matter. In fact, you can look at one of my videos. You'll see my altars from it spans 2018 to 2021. And I have pictures of my altars. You'll see them. The first thing I'd pull out was I'd set up the altar. First thing. Every time, no matter what. And why? Well, because it creates a space and an energy in the room or the hotel or the place you are renting, or you're there temporarily, what have you. But an altar also keeps you in touch with your meditation. It basically reminds you, by it just being there, to do that. When my mother was on her deathbed, I created an altar for her with Yeshua on the altar, in the middle of the altar, so she could focus on the altar and focus on Yeshua and focus on what her belief systems were and what she needed to connect with. When my twin was on his deathbed, I also created an altar for him. In fact, his entire room was a living, breathing altar, just on the side note, okay? And they're important. They have been used for thousands upon thousands of years, and no one is stupid. None of us are stupid. If it didn't work, we wouldn't do it. You gotta just remind yourself of one thing. Many of us are not voodoo tata bullshit. Many of us do things because we know how it shifts energies. In fact, when you sage a house, I'll tell you something that'll blow your mind. Smart real estate agents, successful ones that know this, will actually hire, I swear to God, people to come into a house that has not sold for a long time, and they will sage the entire house inside and out to clear the energy, to open the windows, to clear all the energy. And I've heard this time and time, and the house will sell within a week to 10 days. Sold. There's something about clearing space. There's something about harnessing space. There's something about harnessing portals. This is why many of us, when we have mirrors, I have a mirror, I have it covered unless I use it, because mirrors are also portals, and we're very careful as to what kind of portals that can be opened, especially in this particular timeline we live in. I'm sure you've been hearing about the drones, right? Supposed drones the size of SUVs, and portals are opening, my friends. And they've always been there. Why do I say that? Because in 1979, in 1980, I used to wear, and I said this on one of my lives, like at 2 o'clock in the morning. It was one of those lives. I talked about how we lived right here in Manhattan. And one night we saw a mothership with ships going up and down, diagonal, up and down. I mean, many ships, and they were definitely going to a mothership. Because suddenly the lights would disappear into this big black, and it did, it went on fucking hours until we just went to bed. We're like, I mean, it's like it's gonna go on and on. So many of the things that people are seeing, I'm wondering if people are now finally seeing what was always in front of us. I know that if you look at videos from and very choppy videos, but some of them are quite good, especially now. But videos from the 1980s, 90s in Mexico and Peru. This shit's been going on for a while, my friends. It's not new. So the fact that they're coming, let's put it this way. The fact that they're coming here, it means our American leaders are fucking up. They're fucking up bad for them to make their presence known. Let's just say they're fucking up really, really bad. There's a level of greed that's acceptable, but when it becomes too insane, when I was a kid in the 1980s, we had maybe, I don't know, 10 billionaires. Most of them were from the Saudi countries, obviously because of the oil. Now suddenly we have what? How many billionaires do we have? It's definitely over 100. I've heard the term 1,000. This is problematic. So there's a lot of things shifting and moving, and really when you do your altar, when you do your 12-12, when you work with the moon on the 15th, the full moon, all of these things, you realize you've got 3 fucking days to do you got a lot of shit to do. You got a lot of shit on your plate. Like, get it done. Get it done. Like, don't procrastinate. Don't kick rocks. Don't come up with excuses not to do it. Just get it done. Today's 12-12. Look at my video. See the instructions. They're an invitation to this method. It could be something else comes up. Do the 15th. Make sure you're out there. I don't care if it's snowing. I don't care if it's a snowstorm. I don't care if it's raining. Go out there and communicate with the moon. Communicate with your ancestors from this life, past lives, and future incarnations from various dimensions and planets that only wish you guidance and love and protection. Call on your archangels. Call on the bodhisattvas. Call on the Galactic Council. Just call on them to guide you for 2025. And then set up your altar. The class is going to probably be after Christmas because we need to do the schematics. We need to create something that's visually very easy for you to follow so that it's not confusing at all. And there'll be suggestions. And again, you may want to, we'll have a list of things you should have. And those are things that you can go, you don't have to panic and go, oh my God, I want this done before 2025. Like, hopefully you'll get it together. But if for some reason it's the first, second week of January, you're still good to go. You know what I'm saying? And hopefully you can get a lot of these things at thrift stores and sage it. Just sage it. Just clean it, sage it, chant it, clear the energy, and you'll be good to go. A lot of the things I've had over the years are things that other people owned, So anyway, any other questions or comments? Thank you. Any other questions or comments? Let me see here. Yes, so are TVs and computer monitors. Absolutely. I cover all of that. I don't leave any of that shit. Or TVs and computer monitors. Absolutely. I cover all of that. I don't leave any of that shit open at all, ever. When I go to a motel, when I used to go and travel a lot more, the first thing I did as soon as I walked into a motel or whatever, or hotel, is just find the biggest towel they had and throw it over the monitor. No way, no how do I want that on me. Nuh-uh. And you might say, it's superstitious. I love Friday the 13th. I love black cats. I walk under ladders. I'm not superstitious at all. In fact, Friday the 13th is my favorite combination. But But the mirror thing, the portal yeah, no. It's a no. Believe me, it's a no. I'm not inviting that in, whatever that is that's in there. And I do sage my mirrors, actually. Like when I moved into our house, I saged all the mirrors. You know how you have bathroom mirrors? Obviously, you're not going to cover those. But I saged the mirrors. Because who sat and looked at themselves in that mirror? Were they in despair? Were they contemplating self-harm? Were they evil? Were they deviant? You know, whoever was looking in that mirror, I want to clean that energy and clean that space to make sure that it's not reflected back on me. Does that make sense? All right. Any other questions? Any question that makes sense here for the collective, if you don't mind? So if you want to take the class, I've put up a video on that real quick. It's $45. It's going to be 2 hours. You're going to get a PDF file. You're going to get a list of things that you need to buy to set up your altar for love and for abundance. You also will be given 2 mantras. One for love, to attract love, meaning you're clearing the energy if you're in separation with your twin, or to improve your relationship with your current beloved. And one for money. And these instructions are serious, okay? You need to do them. It's repetitive. The key to this is repetition. And I think that's the beautiful aspect of altars, is that you can't escape them. I typically tell my clients to have an altar in their bedroom, okay? Because you're not going anywhere. You're facing with the altar. You do not let flowers die. There's certain rules of engagement you do not do. You just don't do it. You don't put your underwear on the altar. You don't put your shit on the altar. The altar is sacrosanct. You keep it clear, clean, moving, alive, and healthy. And it will take care of you. If you've noticed, all the good little restaurants, I remember that, especially Vietnamese restaurants, Chinese restaurants, what do they have? An altar. Okay? They all have an altar. And I think it'll be good, too, for you guys to get into that habit just now. I'm playing a video game right now, and in my cucina, she opened a box, and it's a mirror. Oh, fuck. That's funny. That is funny. Yeah. Is expire. Well, as long as even if it's a brand new mirror, just go ahead and sage it, even if it's brand new, because brand new mirrors, you figure how bad can it be? But it was manufactured by someone, so you never know. You just want to sage stuff like that. What else can I share with you? So the class is going to be, if you can't make, it's going to be pre-recorded anyway. We've decided it's the best way to do it. So we were going to pre-record the class, then do a Zoom class for only 1 hour. We're going to be very strict on that because we're recording that as well. And it will have questions and answers. And if you can't attend that, you'll be able to, because most likely those questions might reflect your questions anyway. So we'll make sure to handle that business as well, and you'll have access to those pre-recordings for the life of your link. The link's not going to go away. And the link will be connected to YouTube, so it's not going anywhere. It won't be a TikTok link, trust me. It'll be a YouTube link, and you can access this whenever you want. And if you have a YouTube membership, you can download it, right, to keep onto your computer or laptop or phone or however you prefer to have it. But ultimately, once you have it, you have it. Plus, you'll have the schematics. So you can't... And take pictures of all your altars. As you move around, as you progress in your life, take pictures of your altars. You should always do that. It's almost like a journal. It's like a journal, you know what I mean? You're journaling your energy. You're journaling your spiritual evolution. You're seeing different things showing up on your altars. And it gives you... It's a journal. And I did that. So if you want to look up my altars, I think it's under... mantras or guided meditations. It's under one of those. You can look up my playlist, and then you'll see my altars, and that's just a small window of altars. Let me just say, I even had, when I lived up in the mountains in Northern California, I had 4 altars going on at once. I'm not joking. I had 4 altars. I would pick wildflowers, this and that. With the winter coming, we have suggestions for that as well, because you can't pick flowers if it's snowing, obviously. And so we have suggestions for that, which will give you alternative things to do throughout the season, so that you're always you know, you're good to go. You're not like stumbling on, oh shit, now it's snowing. What do I do now? So we'll make sure to cover everything. And if you're interested in taking the class, it's $45. It's going to be a total of 2 hours, pre-recorded, and we'll go from there. If you want to join a live Zoom, we'll give you a date, a time. If you can't join it, that's cool. You'll just get the pre-recording and it'll be a Q&A more. It'll be more of a Q&A. More than that. If you're Catholic, Jewish, Muslim, Buddhist, spiritualist, Wicca, you definitely want to do the class, because what I'm noticing is I see people's altars, no disrespect to any of you, but it's not well done. There's too much junk. There's no alignment, and each thing is aligned to an elemental, an element: air, fire, water, and what is it? Air, fire, water, and what is it? Oh my God, earth. How could I forget earth, of all things, me of all people, but earth. And there's an element to that, and these need to be honored in a certain way. And I find that people will have mostly just all crystals or an aimless like little card and maybe a little statue, and there's no rhyme or reason. The abundance altar is very specific, and you need to be open to that, understanding. The only thing that you'll be asked to do, which will ignite your altar, is to use a Sanskrit mantra. Don't deviate for that, my friend. Sanskrit is one of the oldest languages on the planet, and the Vedic system and the Vedic scrolls and these ancient books of learning, the chakras, things of that. It's depending on who you speak to, is 7,000 to 10,000 years old. It outranks the Talmud. It outranks everything ever written. It outranks everything. No questions asked. It's not even. There's no argument here. So there's a very deep ancient wisdom that probably originates from, and this is where I'm going here with that, with the Egyptians, who were connected to the Pleiadians, the Andromedans, the Syrians, the Orions, the Galactic Council. That brought a lot. That means the Atlanteans, the Lemurians, they brought a lot of that stuff. And there was the deluge, and a lot of things, the scrolls were grabbed, and knowledge was still in people's hearts and souls, and many people could still tap into the Akashic library with ease and started scribing the stuff in the ancient libraries of Egypt, which would have been the first container of great lost knowledge. And you know the story of what happened to these libraries, and eventually Alexandria, and the sacking of Alexandria, and the last burning and sacking of Alexandria was around 400 something AD. Just on the side note, it wasn't Cleopatra, it wasn't during that time, it was after death. Okay, that was the last one. And that's sad. That's why probably we have a lot of the things that we have seen being uncovered, like the Dead Sea Scrolls. I'm sure that was part of it, because the fact that they were many, God knows, I would love to organize a crew of people to go into Mount Sinai and to go into the Egyptian caves, where the Dead Sea Scrolls were found, because I'm sure there's more and more to be found. And I almost feel like some of us could actually be like dowsers, just energetic dowsers in just our own body, because of the crystals that we have within our bodies, to actually be led without much hesitation to the next buried treasure of knowledge. I'm almost damn near sure of it. And it's interesting. Anyway, any other questions or comments? I have a dragon altar, wolf and deer altar for my spirit animals, fairy altar, and one for Hekat. Gotcha. But even that needs to have a certain everything has its place for a reason, and there's a reason for each of it. Okay? And also, it's what you want to attract. Does that make sense? So you have to look at what do I want to attract, and why am I attracting it? And so altars can be symbolic of your interest and your connection to spirit animals and this and that, but we're talking about altars for money, abundance, specifically money, and love, specifically love. And I know, and I can tell you that it works. So what we're about to teach, me and Andromeda Flame, it works. Based on those principles of placement, it does work, okay? All right, I'm going to let you go. I want to thank you again for being here. Check out my video on 1212. Check out the class, see if you want to join us. Feel free to message me, join the class, and we just ask you, if you have friends that you want to take it, you know, that you honor the honor system to take the class, and individually. Like, don't just buy one class and share with 10 people. That's actually not cool. And actually, that right there will actually deflate your intention to create abundance. It karmically, it's not good. So don't do that. Just look at taking the class individually, or your family, like you and your husband, or you and your wife, and your child, your adult child, whatever. That's cool. But try to honor also the system, so that you get the abundance you deserve. You know what I mean? I don't know why I'm being told to say that, but I'm being told to say that. So I'm saying it. I did send you a message private. Thank you. Oh, Justin Kennedy, absolutely. When did you send it? Is it on my... I'll look up my DMs on here. If not, you can email me at tonybarca144@gmail.com. Here, I'll send it to you, just in case, okay? Because I'm going to make sure I don't miss your email. Because I know some people got on my website, sent me some information, like they wanted more information, and I never got it, which is very strange. I got to call my website person and see what the fuck's going on. But here's that a few minutes ago. Okay, right on. All right, cool. So I will have an amazing day, Tony. Thank you for sharing. Absolutely. Anything else? Any other questions? So there's a lot, okay? There's a lot going on in the next 3 days. Get excited. Do your 369. If you don't do that, at least write a letter to the universe, and keep it. Keep it in your wallet. That's exactly what you want, what you're grateful for. And whatever you desire, in present tense only. It's never future tense. It's always present tense. Always. You're grateful for, and whatever you desire, in present tense only. It's never future tense. It's always present tense. Always. It was under your link. Okay, I'll check it out, Justin. Absolutely. All right. I will upload this video if you guys want to see it on my YouTube channel. We don't know exactly what's going on with YouTube. YouTube, TikTok, and... So, you know, if you want to follow me, just follow me on YouTube. That's a good place to go. I really am not a fan of Instagram at all. I am there, don't get me wrong. I've started a new site on Instagram that's more connected to my Sacred Intimacy Tarot. But I'm not a fan. Why? Because it's meta, that's why. So I'm more into... YouTube's not... I'm not a fan either, but I'm there. And because I can actually upload a lot of my long lives, which I think people like. And then also I'm still working on Rumble. I'm still trying to, ferret out how to set up Rumble so that it connects to YouTube and I can do live simultaneously. That would be fun. And I'd like to do more numerological clinics. And I think that... and I'd like to do more numerological clinics, and I think that's fun too. I think you guys understanding, I know you guys see the numbers, and there's certain numbers, I'll leave you with that. When you see 1111, it's an initiation number. I'm going to tell you straight up. So you're going to see that number. That's the first number that peeks out over the horizon of your consciousness. Then after that, you'll start seeing like 33, 55, 55 is change. 555 is what 15, right? And you might see 77. You might see 111, 222, 333. Great signs. And then as you get more in your ascension, and it may come over time, okay? And be patient with yourself. But then you'll start seeing 144 everywhere. 441, 414. But 144, $144.95 will be your bill. For example, I'm not joking, like quite literally. And you'll see stuff like that. And I know you've seen $11.11 on, say, you go up to the gas station, you're like, holy shit, this person only had $11.11. They bought gas, but there it is, right? So then you'll start seeing your number, your birth date. So for example, 1221 everywhere. And then you have to add those numbers. You got to kind of like realize, oh wait, hang on, that's my number. They're talking to me. They're supporting you. You might also, and this is a very known twin, well, I mean, not a lot of people know, but a twin flame sign is when you see their birth dates everywhere. Everywhere. It's insane. And it doesn't matter if you're in separation or union, especially when you're about to break away from them, the numbers will start fucking hitting you hard. You'll see those numbers everywhere. It's almost like the universe saying, what are you doing? What are you doing? Where are you going? And trying to stop you from doing something crazy. Okay? Oh, you're very kind. Well, it takes one to know one. You're very kind. So I'll go check out that link now. Will you send me, Justin? Hopefully I'll find it. And then, just do your thing. I mean, just please take today seriously. Give yourself sacred space for an hour. I did do a video called, it's under, hang on. I think it's under, guided meditations on my playlist, guided meditations. Go ahead and look up opening the four corners above and below. Learn how to do that. Give yourself sacred space and do whatever the hell energy clearing you need to do. Okay, for 12/12. Then you've got 15, right? And 15 is going to be the last full moon, right? And 15 is going to be the last full moon. A lot of people on a full moon. A lot of people, on a side note, are being fired. Have you noticed? I don't know why. I'm saying that. A friend of mine is just trying to call me, so I have to go in a minute. But a lot of people are videotaping themselves being fired, right? Okay. Why is this happening on 2 weeks before Christmas? It's happening massively 2 weeks before Christmas. I need you to hold sacred space, not just for yourself, on 12 and 15. For the abundance of the new earth for everyone, no matter what. In other words, there will never ever be a chasm between the wealthy and the poorest of the poor. Children going to school hungry will never again be a reality. So when you manifest everything I just said, they will not be, this won't be, don't do that. Just say, please don't do that. Don't say no one will ever starve again. You're going to say there's abundance for everyone. Everyone is so filled with joy. I'm so happy to be living in the new earth, because in the new earth in 5D again, you're going to say there's abundance for everyone. Everyone is so filled with joy. I'm so happy to be living in the new earth, because in the new earth in 5D again, you're going to say there's abundance for everyone. Everyone is so filled with joy. I'm so happy to be living in the new earth, because in the new earth in 5D consciousness, there is no, abundance is everywhere. It's everywhere for everyone. There's equality everywhere. Now, why are you doing that? Because you do not manifesting that most people have never been able to really, really harness is that they'll say shit like, yeah, there's no wars and there's no famine and there's money for everyone and there's no disease. It doesn't work. That's why it doesn't work when you manifest like that. But when you say abundance of love, health, and wealth follow everyone, this new earth is so amazing. There's generosity. There's love. There's abundance. Everyone has everything they need at a moment's notice. I'm so grateful to be living in the new earth. I'm so glad my family lives in the new earth. I'm so glad my children. I'm so grateful to be living in the new earth. I'm so glad my family lives in the new earth. I'm so glad my children and grandchildren will live in the abundance of the new earth. That's what you say, okay? And this is how you say anything, and this is how you write anything that deals with manifesting. Always in the present tense, as you know, because time is not linear, it's circular. And this is something that you've got to remind yourself. Make sure you constantly repair the verbiage. Never future tense. Never past tense. Present only. Because what you're doing is seeding the present, and you're at a we're constantly at crossroad moments when we could be going left, right, or center, and left could be the hand of inequality. Right could be the hand of poverty and loss, and the center could be the hand of the path of abundance. There's never any misstep ever again. And the concept of you can't have it all is a very interesting thing. There's a lot of sayings that have been really programmed into our consciousness for hundreds of years. You can't have it all. It's been told in our fairy tales. A great book for women. As a matter of fact, my twin read the book because he wanted to understand. And it's called Women Who Run with the Wolves by Clarissa Pinkola Estes. Women Who Run with the Wolves. Just put book, you'll find it. And in the fairy tales, we had been programmed as children to be afraid of desire, which I think is quite interesting in a very deviant, nefarious way. So the concept of money doesn't grow on trees and money doesn't bring you happiness is a bald-faced lie, because money grows everywhere. In fact, money is money is an illusion. And money brings you choices, and choices of movement, of experiences, brings joy. The ability to pay for someone who may be dealing with illness and not being afraid that you can't pay for the deductibles and all that shit. Well, money would handle that problem. So this blockage of energy on money and guilting over money, money is not the enemy. Just like a GUN is not an enemy, neither is a knife. None of it is. It's the perpetrator that holds it that becomes the problem. You'll see wonderful people who are like J.K. Rowling. I don't give a shit what people say about her right now, because J.K. Rowling was in the $1.5 billion nosebleed level elite seats. And she took it down to $500 million in writing massive checks to send to people in there's saging going on, that's why I'm coughing. And she basically gave away more than half her wealth. Okay? So the proof is in the pudding, man, because not a lot of people are writing those kinds of fat checks. Trust me. Unless they live here, and to write checks saves them a shitload of money. Okay? So don't be afraid of money. Don't guilt out on it. It is your right to have choices, to live where you want, the way you want, to create communities for people who don't have, things of that nature. Many of you, if you were given $1 billion, I can assure you, you would not be hoarding it. Many of you would be trying to figure out, okay, let me plan out what part of this country needs help the most right now, like right now. And you would be actually working with a team of your buddies or light bringers that you've met, and you would be being very efficient, urgent, and generous, and creating solutions for people who don't have and don't even have. Let me tell you something. To be homeless is exhausting. It will wring you out until there's nothing left, and still wring you out. So most people can't even think their way out of it. It's not because they're lazy or they're high or they're drunk. They can't do it anymore. It's exhausting. And so I know that if any of you listening to me right now had $1 billion, I know that you right now would harness $100 million and hire people that you were light bringers, and you have shit happening fast. That's what money's for. Hoarding it is a sickness no less than a person hoarding in their apartment trash and bags and cats and dogs and feces, and it's a mental illness. So don't feel guilty when abundance comes to you. Abundance is a responsibility that when you're anointed to be the keeper